This is the time when we discuss life. We discuss time. We bond together like the beads of a bracelet, pondering what is and what is not in the cosmic science of astrology, drowning ourselves into the depths of our inner being. And cutting through all boundaries which holds us within the limits of our karmas, burning our own ego to see what is beyond the smoky veil. Welcome to Astrophilosophy Hour. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so we're back again into our Astrophilosophy dungeon. And this week is going to be a very interesting subject. Maybe you want to make some coffee or make a martini for yourself, because we're going to be discussing the subject of escapism. Why is it that everybody wants to escape? And when I mean everybody, it's a figure of speech, everybody. Because I know somebody's going to be curious to say, oh, well, I'm not this person. I'm talking about everybody who is in a real corporate world, who is not really one of those weird, eccentric people like me, like the outcast. Because that's where you'll find many interesting characters, people who escape, people who do not escape. But this is for real world. This is for you, who's watching probably this for the first time. And you're probably as nuts as I am if you're willing to watch this. So, and especially this video really is dedicated to this, or things like this, substances like this. See, this is not escape. This is, see, here's the difference about cigar and cigarette. A cigarette person smokes because they're stressed. That's when people take a smoke break, right? In their work. Oh, I need to take a smoke break. I'm so stressed with work. You do not smoke when you do not smoke a cigar when you're stressed. You smoke a cigar when you're relaxed. That's a big difference. And everybody who don't know that, you do not inhale cigar. You do not inhale the smoke of the cigar. This is simply just a very relaxing thing. It doesn't get you drunk, doesn't get you high, doesn't get you in any alternative state. That's the thing about cigars. A cigarette quickly affects your brain through heavy nicotine. Especially the cigars that I get, these are flavored cigars, handmade cigars, no chemicals, nothing. They're one with the chemicals that are heavy. I just get the one that is just very pure and natural. So why don't we get started with our video today? So, as you know, most of you know, I drink. I love drinking. I love scotches. I love brandies and beers. You know, I am the modern day Asura. But the thing is, have you ever thought about why everybody wants to escape? Every single person wants to escape. Whether you go to happy hour, whether you go home and have a drink. On Friday night, most people, Indian, Western, Eastern, Northern, Southern society, mostly everybody loves getting hammered. Why do people get drunk? Why do people want to get high? Why is it that somebody runs after looking for LSD and marijuana, cocaine, crack? You're talking about your IT professionals, okay? From your IT professionals to doctors, lawyers, surgeons, astrologists, philosophers, psychologists, electrician, plumber, computer technician, rocket scientist. Every single person, and most people, remember my figure of speech, I'm just using every single person from each one of these categories, loves to escape. Why they like escaping from this substance known as alcohol and everything that I just mentioned. And it's a very simple answer. Because you're trying to get to your true self. You're trying to get to your real self. That's the only reason why you're trying to escape. People who drink heavily, okay? People who get hammered, blacked out. See, I don't know when the last time I got drunk and hammered. Oh, I know when it was. It was our first anniversary. We went to Las Vegas, me and my wife. This was back in 2014 or 13. And I had a shot of Japanese scotch. Like it was an $80 glass and very thin layer of, it was like half of this glass for $80. And my wife's like, come on, do it. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'm in Vegas, let's just do it. I took a hit of that. It didn't do anything for me. I'm like, I just wasted $80. We ate the food. We went to a casino. We went to the gambling side of the casino. I had, a couple of martinis in, and then it just hit me. And I was just blacked out. But why most people actually love getting blacked out? Because mine was not on purpose. Mine was just like, that thing just hit you, like a meteorite hitting a dinosaur. Because of the fact you are not this state of being. See, humans were never meant to do certain work, do certain jobs, be part of a certain society, which will make them feel a wage slave. It's a very popular term now, wage slave. Meaning that slavery has transformed from just being a slave and master to a slave who does not know they're slave, but they're slaves. It's very smart, very, very smart. And because your true essence as a human being is freedom, is to create things on your own, is to be self-sustainable. This is why you try to escape, because you feel like, what in the world am I doing? Why am I doing this? I was watching a documentary yesterday on Amazon of this rich couple. They were building a 90,000 square feet home, and this guy owns a timeshare. He's a billionaire. You can watch it on just type in 90,000 square feet home. I think you will get that on Google. The lady there said that when I was an engineer, my boss, the very first day I met my boss, who had a clock ticking. And it was a clock when the boss would turn 65. He was a computer engineer at IBM. And she asked, what do you have this backwards clock for? The boss said, this is the backwards clock on the day I retire from this job. She's like, why do you have that? She's like, I cannot wait to leave this dreadful place. I can't take it anymore. I can't. Right there, this lady said, that's it. I'm not going to be here. Forget technology, forget computers. This is not me. She left, started doing modeling, then met this billionaire guy. But you want to escape for the same reason. Because you're a soul that belongs in samadhi. You're a soul that belongs outside of this 3D matrix. This matrix known as the human body, which is very limited. And you are this unlimited potential, this unlimited spark in a limited body. So you always try to escape it. Remember, people do not want to die. You do not want to die. I know you. I know you very well. You don't want to die. But guess what? Every single Friday, every evening, you try to die. Why? How? By passing out. By taking this drink taking a puff of that marijuana so you can be on an alternative state, away from the state that is known to you as your identity, your ego. Like, this is me, this is who I am. I am this great Harvard graduate IT engineer, and I work 60 hours a week, and I hate my job, I hate my life, and I'm gonna drink till I forget about everything that I have done and worked for to this point. See, I only drink just to feel relaxed. There are people who drink to escape, and that's where, we want to pinpoint this issue, this problem, as to why are these people trying to escape? Why are you getting drunk? Why are you doing drugs? That's because you're trying to understand your true self. You're trying to get back to your true self. And how do you do it? Well, the easiest mechanism is to take these substances. Are they good? Absolutely not. They're not good. I admit that. They're not good. But this is the easiest way without putting the discipline of doing yoga, discipline of doing meditation, discipline of trying to awaken your Kundalini without a proper guru. So that's the issue here. The issue is not that you're doing drugs and you get drunk. The issue is you're not using the right method to know yourself. Now, the other thing that I want to point out here is this whole issue of modern day slavery. People are having so many health problems these days. So many health problems. Do you know what the number one cause of deaths, heart attacks, illnesses is in the United States? It's not the greasy food, the fast food. That's secondary. Number one is stress. Stress is the number one killer, at least in this country, and is becoming all over the world. And once this epidemic takes place, that's where clowns like me come out of our holes, try to infuse a spark in you. Then what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Are you really this person who's going to spend the next 20, 30 years doing what you're doing in a cubicle, doing what you're doing in an office, and just to get your last paycheck, retirement, and die? Because you have a plan, right? I know exactly what the plan you have, because I do my career consultation every day, and I read the emails of people who say, well, I want to travel Himalayas and I want to travel the world, and I really want to make the money now, so when I retire I can do all these things. Do you know when you retire, you'll be lucky if you can walk? People don't get this. Age of 60, age of 50 and beyond, try climbing even the first summit of Mount Everest. You know when you should be experiencing life? Now. In your teens, your 20s, your 30s. 40s and 50s, you should be spending the time by yourself in a room meditating. I'm telling you right now. It's like, there was a great documentary I watched. It was, I think, 6 months ago, called Samadhi. They say if you take a bunch of people, they actually did this experiment. They were scientists back in 1400. They took a bunch of people from the beginning, from their birth, put them in a room, fed them and everything, but they never got out of that room. All they knew was that room, the light, and the shadows that were made on the wall with their own reflection. And they thought that was the life. They thought that was everything. But if you told them that, hey, there's a world outside. They did this experiment. They said, there's a world outside of these boundaries. Do you want to see them? They said, no, we don't. We love this world here. Imagine just in one room for 20, 30 years from the time you were an infant. So when you realize that there is a state beyond your state of physical being, you're like, no. I don't want to die. I want to live forever. And that's where you know that there's something wrong with you. But how do you know if there's something wrong with you? This is where you have to pay attention as to why you're trying to escape every night. Every night you want to drink 3 big glasses of scotch so you can just lay flat, pass out, and then wake up again. But every single day, especially on Friday, you don't want to live. You want to escape and you want to pass out. You don't want to know anybody, even your own girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, children. You just want to escape. So in a way, you're not afraid of death. You're not afraid of death. You're afraid of death in your conscious state. You're not afraid of death in your unconscious state. And that unconscious state gets you the closest to your true self, your true conscious state that exists beyond this conscious state. I know it sounds like a riddle, but it's very true. Your life on this particular planet, for whether it's for 50 years, 60 years, 70, 80, 90, 100, it's less than 0.0000000000001% of the life you have been living. And you're thinking this 0.00001% is everything. So then we want to ask ourselves, what is the solution to this issue? What is the solution of this issue, right? First of all, nothing's gonna happen in one day. Nothing's going to change in one moment. The only thing that changes is your consciousness when you make a decision that, okay, I'm gonna change myself. That's the spark. But in order to be self-sufficient, because the first thing you have to do, you gotta get out of this wage slavery. And for that, you have to make a decision that do you want to live in a world that has made you a slave by providing you everything? See, we get electricity. We get the water in our tap. We get heating just by the turn of the button. We get the cold air from the press of a button. I get to know about the world through the press of a button on my computer. But humans were never meant to be this bad of slaves to anything. We were very self-sufficient human beings back in the days. Why am I saying this? Because I watched this show, Life Below Zero. That's how I understood. I'm like, they talk about this actually in there, that humans were supposed to be self-sufficient, independent, fighting for their own food, growing their own crops, hunting for their own meat, inventing their own things for cooling themselves or heating themselves. The Industrial Revolution 100 years ago just were so smart. They're like, we got to make people invisible slaves. Because if you make them visible slaves, they will rebel. But if you make them invisible slaves, they're going to want to be slaves. So this is where the issue is. This is the problem. And the solution lies in for you to find a way to escape. And how do you escape this prison, this golden prison? Is to follow a spiritual path. Is to follow a path where you can enlighten other beings and sustain yourself. How do you do that? Well, this is where you have to really fall in love with the subjects that define you, whether it's yoga, meditation, astrology, mysticism, being a mystic, being or somebody simply who packs everything, goes to the mountains in Himalayas or Alaska or Arctic, and you're able to just go into these free lands, build your own thing, live a sustained life where you are not worrying about bills and taxes and your promotion. So you have to make that decision. Like I've made this decision, and I am very, very, very happy to be in the situation I am in right now today, where I don't need to worry about this slavery, this invisible slavery, because I love what I do. I can be up 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day, which I am. And it's something I love it. I love doing what I'm doing. It's like I am out in wilderness. Nobody's here to watch me, manage me, show me what I need to do, when I need to clock in, clock out. But my other goal is also to be in isolation. And I've told my wife, like within 10 years, 15 years, when girls are, old enough, we should just move to a very isolated place and just live our own sustained life. So I'm working towards that. I really want to do it. I don't want to be in this concrete jungle. I don't care for it anymore. I want to go to my true home. I want to go to my true home, my true parents, that source energy, that is my father, my mother, my sister, my wife, my husband, everything. This is who we really are. This is who we really are. So the escape that you are doing every week, every day, it's okay. I understand you. It's your DNA to escape. That's the thing. But just try to escape in the right way. Try to find a path without this or drugs to escape. Find a fully conscious way of knowing that you're no longer in this conscious body. That's what actually samadhi is, So that's my astrophilosophy discussion for today, but I do want to know your thoughts on this, because it's a very serious subject to really know the root problem of why you do what you do. Even if you don't smoke, even if you don't drink. Let's say you're a complete Brahman, right? You're a Brahman by caste, you're a Brahman by lineage, and you're a Brahman by your duties. But if you are in this invisible slavery, probably every 4 or 5 hours you think about, how do I end this? How do I escape this? I want to get away. Yet you are forced to be in this state of just doing what you're doing, and most of the time our mind is innocuous to what we really need to be doing. We just go out there and work. But think about it. This escapism it's actually you really trying to escape the prison. So have at it. Try to escape, but escape the right way. That's the only way you're going to be able to get out. Not through these things. Even this, okay, let me tell you this. I only do these things for this video, just to make it look cool. Make it look all, scenic for the matter of the topic. This, I used to drink this every day. Now I'm only doing this because of this video. Why? Because this relaxes me. I don't get drunk. I don't get high. I don't feel a headache, or I don't get any, hangovers. So I'm all about cigars. Look, this is how much I love cigars. This whole box. This is a cigar box. I mean, I've just got nothing but cigars here. I've got all these cigars just sitting in here. So for me, getting drunk and getting wasted is no longer an issue anymore. The issue is that I really want you to understand who I am. Because if you understand who I am, you're going to see your reflection. Okay? So we'll see you next time. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Bye-bye.